Wow, what a week of wrestling we just had. So, before I start talking about what actually happened, I want to mention this. I tried to upload my reaction to AEW Rampage, but I got taken down from AEW themselves. And they're really strict about it, so I figured it was going to happen, but I really was hoping it wouldn't. But yeah, so I got my first copyright strike, so that was fun, but it's gone in 90 days as long as I don't have another one, and I don't plan on doing another video like that just out of safety of not getting another strike. So that's fun. Thanks, YouTube. And not to bash this guy right here, but he did literally the exact same thing I did. The only difference is he green screened his background out. But regardless of that, it was just a crazy, crazy weekend for wrestling. And I can't believe how much happened in the span of a couple days. So we'll start with Rampage. The rest of all of the show was really good, just typical AEW stuff, but not saying that in a bad way. Of course, it was just pure entertainment. But the best part about it, and in my opinion, the highlight of the entire weekend, was CM Punk officially making his All Elite Wrestling debut. And my God, was it awesome to see him again. I don't know the third, but out of my top 3 favorite wrestlers, CM Punk and Edge are definitely in that mix. And I've been a CM Punk fan for years. He actually was one of the first wrestlers I actually was a fan of when I first started watching, because I started watching later than a lot of people did. But still, CM Punk has always been one of my all-time favorites, and to see him leave the way he did and hear him go on the podcasts and talk about what went down when he was nearing the end and everything, to hear that was so unfortunate to hear that he had lost his love for the business. And I hoped, just like every other fan, that every day I hoped that someday he would come back. And to see him back was insane, and to hear the crowd, because you think that was in Chicago, that's Punk's hometown. Last time he was in Chicago for WWE, they made a lot of noise. It sounded loud, but compared to Rampage, I don't know if I've heard a reaction that loud in a long-ass time. And if you missed what he actually said, go check it out, because I'm about to say what he said. He also mentioned the ice cream bars from the famous promo where he was ripping on Vince McMahon. And I was like, oh my God, that is awesome. And I saw videos on the internet that were circulating around where he did hold true to his word. Every fan that was in the arena that night got one for free, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I'm just going to throw it out there. WWE is fucked. They are fucked. Because you think about it, they already are making a lot of bad moves. They're letting go a lot of people, but they're rehiring people, and they're signing new people. They just had tryouts in Las Vegas, but they released Bray Wyatt because that makes sense. So they, as a company, seem to be failing. Vince seems to be failing. Their company is done. They were already losing to AEW. The only thing they had gained is the fact that they had way more money in their pockets, just because they've been around longer. But with CM Punk signing to AEW, WWE has no moves left. Let's just fast forward to SummerSlam for a second. Of course, you have Becky Lynch come back, and you have Brock Lesnar come back. Well, when Becky Lynch came back, it was cool to see her. It was awesome. But she squashed Bianca. It wasn't even a good match. It was a 20-second match that was a one-move match. That was dumb. It was horrible. I hate to see that Becky had to do that. And I'm so glad she got to win the title on her first night back, but I wish it was done better. Or I wish she would have gone and taken the Raw Tag Team or the Raw Women's title. Because as much as I didn't want Nikki to lose it, Charlotte did not deserve it again. And Charlotte doesn't even want him anymore. She's gone on the record saying that she doesn't want to keep having championships, but they're telling her she's going to be in these matches, and she's like, okay. Now, I'll jump to Brock Lesnar's return really quickly. So, after Roman Reigns beat John Cena, Brock Lesnar came back. He came out with his beard again. He's got the beard again, and now he's got longer hair. It's still kind of how it used to be, but it's longer. different than it's more like a strip. It's not like the entire top of his head, but I think it looks cool. And I'm actually really glad to see him back because he can be a babyface this time. When he shows up and he's a heel, he only ever does the same thing. So typically, I would be pretty pissed about Lesnar coming out. I actually thought that was pretty cool. It was nice to see him. Especially with the fact that Paul Heyman is now aligned with Roman Reigns and was once aligned with Brock. I thought that was really cool. And of course, then the memes circulate too of the custody of Paul Heyman match. And I see that all the time. I'm like, man, that would honestly be really funny if they did that. Another thing I thought they did good on with SummerSlam was Bobby versus Goldberg. I was going to be really pissed off if Goldberg won, and thankfully he did not. But at the end of the match, Bobby was not happy about how it ended. He wanted to get a clean finish, so he was pissed off at the ref. So he kept beating up Goldberg. Well, Goldberg's son comes into the ring. Bobby puts him in the Hurt Lock. There's the next part of that story. But yeah, overall, man, SummerSlam sucked. I hated it. I didn't, despise it. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but compared to the fact that everybody knew Punk was showing up on Rampage. Everybody knew. WWE can try to throw these curveballs, put these references in their promos. It's not going to throw fans off. He was going to be in AEW. And so everybody knew it. And I know that WWE knew it. Why would you guys not go above and beyond to put on the best show you can? That show was pretty lackluster. There was a lot that could have been done better. And I'm not saying it wasn't good. There was good parts here and there. But as a whole, especially compared to Rampage and TakeOver, it was pretty boring. Now, let's talk about that really quickly, too. TakeOver. So, I haven't seen all of it. I will say that. So, I said TakeOver was better than SummerSlam. It was. It always is. I always like TakeOver better than WWE's pay-per-views. Not true. Most of the time, I should say. But anyways, TakeOver was really good, and I liked all of the outcomes to the matches. The matches were all very well done that I've seen so far. I feel like NXT just always does better than the main roster. But opinions aside, the reality of it is, it was a great weekend for wrestling. There was a lot of good matches. Cameron Grimes won the belt. Samoa Joe won the belt. Becky's back. I don't like the way it was done, but she's back. Thankfully for that. I was hoping to see her show up soon. Brock is back. Punk is back. I've been in shock all weekend. They've been pulling off some good surprises. I was actually having a pretty good time. Because even when it was bad, it was not that bad, you know. All in all, good weekend for wrestling. I was pretty impressed, but I'll tell you what, nothing will ever top CM Punk's return. Nobody will ever return and have it top CM Punk's. Not even Edge. Because as much as I love Edge, he only left because he had to. Punk left because he needed to. It wasn't required. He wasn't leaving for injury. And then he went and did UFC, so he could still fight. He just was done with WWE, said he's never going to return to WWE. I don't know if he ever said he wouldn't return to wrestling, but he even said during the promo on Rampage, I lost my love for the sport, but you people brought me back. And maybe it wasn't on the promo, maybe it was like the interview thing they did after the show or something, but yeah, it's just, nothing will ever top his return, in my opinion. The crowd was insane. And they were great for Edge's return, and I was so hyped for that. I knew he was going to be there because he posted a picture of him looking down at a suitcase. It was an old picture, but it was him looking down at a suitcase with his original rated R Superstar kick pads in his suitcase. And it was pretty blatant he was going to be at the Rumble, and he was, and I was super excited. But I got to say, as much as it was awesome to see Edge come back, seeing Punk come back, it didn't bring a tear to my eye. Didn't quite get me to that point. If I was there in person, it would have. But the fact that I was at home, it didn't. But it gave me a lot of goosebumps. I was in complete and utter shock. But anyways, without making this video too long, I'm dragging on way too much. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know how that shit goes. It's always the same way. It's how it works on YouTube. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.